welcome to my Psychic Connection Journey Ryan live. Guess what? I'm not Journey. He is still out on assignment. He's got such great things coming for you. I've been staying back and holding on to the home front for him and everybody else out on assignment. Hope y'all aren't sick of me yet. I am Squirrel, and I will be your host for tonight in lieu of Journey Ryan. And we are all looking forward to when he comes back because we are definitely missing his beautiful face. I'd like to tell everybody that we are doing things a little bit differently. We've been doing it for about a week or so, but instead of just saying hello to be put on the list, it just goes so much more smoothly if you go ahead and type your question into the comments and ask your question now, and that's how you get on the list. We'll be sure not to miss anybody and pop you up there. And then if you use a lot of patience, please. We're coming from a whole lot of different platforms. So you might not see the questions before you, but we are taking them in order, and we are doing our best to make sure that everybody gets seen. So I have blisters on my fingers from shuffling. So we've got somebody really incredible coming in. This is one of my best friends in the world, the best reader, tarot cards, oracles, runes, anything. This young lady can read absolutely anything. I bet her if I gave her a strand of my hair, she'd be able to do some divination out of it. She is one of my best friends. Please welcome Cassidy, the card slinger. She'll be reading for us tonight. And you guys, if you didn't catch her last week, you are going to just fall in love with her. So come on, Cassidy. Hi.
Hi,
Give her
hello.
some love.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be back. Last week was an absolute ball. So many great questions, and I've been looking forward to being back here since the last live ended. So thank you for having me.
Oh, we love you so much. Well, I do personally, like, but you got a lot of amazing feedback, and the people last week liked you. I hope for those of you first meeting Cassidy that you just gonna oh, be sure to ask her questions because she is gonna blow your socks off. Seriously. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Cassidy.
Well, thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. That was very sweet. Yeah, so as Sharon said, I'm a diviner of all things. I don't know that I've done strands of hair just yet, but it's certainly now on my radar. I work with a lot of card tools, hence my name, Cassidy the Card Slinger. I read tarot cards, oracle cards, Lenormand, playing cards. I also read runes. I use a pendulum from time to time. Scrying. I won't be doing that on the show tonight, but looking at a nice little ball of some description. So my motto is if you can divine with it, why not? I've even got myself unlost out of a forest by divining with a stick to point me the direction of how to get myself back on track. So you don't need fancy tools. You can do it with darn near anything. But
That
I'm
is all right.
yeah.
I'm excited. Let's show everybody what you can do. So let's are you ready to start or do you need a minute to breathe?
I think I'm ready to start. I guess the only thing I'll say, as Sharon mentioned, please post a specific question. The more that you put into your question, the more I can help you with. So things that are too general, we'll just ask you to repost your question and we can put you back on the list. But if you ask a nice specific question the first time around, we can just sink our teeth right into it. So
And I would like to add that we do not do medical or legal here. So no medical or legal questions, please. And pregnancy counts as medical.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. And I'm also not a medium, so if you're looking for a mediumship reading, you can find one of the other wonderful medium readers here. But those are not going to be offered this evening. So other than that, let's dive in. I am ready for my first question.
Eat. We're getting
All right. So while we are getting that set up, I just, before we got started here, perfect. There's my question. Okay, Audrey. Hi, Audrey. Hope you're doing well. Awesome. So Audrey asks, is there any more guidance what my passion job is? Okay, that's a great question. I love a good career reading. So let's get a sense from the cards if I can get some information to help point you towards kind of how you can uncover what your passion is, and if we can get any information about what exactly that would look like. So what does Audrey need to know here about finding a job that she's passionate about, her true passionate job? Right. Okay, interesting. Yeah. One of the things I would say is it certainly involves, the first thing I'm getting is a revolving door away from kind of what you are currently doing. I've got the Three of Swords in reverse, and it's kind of saying that perhaps your current fit is not exactly the best one, and perhaps that's even why you're asking. In terms of what would be a good fit, the card I have here is Magician in the upright position, and I think that it would certainly involve you being in your own role, your own, either a leadership position, having your own business. And the other card here I have is the Queen of Cups reversed, and she kind of mirrors as well this Three of Swords in reverse. I think something in the realm of helping other people, or helping in a sense of being a guide or a counselor, or something where you can offer help in the space that you have information about, things that you've particularly been through. But that Magician card is really saying it needs to be something that you go out on your own and you kind of pave your own way and pave your own path. I think that a lot of the previous experience you have, if you've had many different odd jobs, that there's been something that you could find of each of them that helped serve a sliver of what your overall deeper passion would look like. But I don't feel the need to say, go back, don't go back, go forward. Yes, but nothing helps me lead to that. Well, I wouldn't say nothing, right? Like the Magician is not someone who's going to sit back with the, with that. There's I hope that is helpful, Audrey. Thank you so much for your question. It's always a fun thing when we're looking at our passions and what way we should go, especially in the sense of career, because there's almost this notion out there that there's this one job that I'm meant to maybe have forever. But as we go through life, of course, we change, our interests change. Perhaps something that was a really good fit at one point for us, as our priorities shift in areas that are outside of work, if you have a family, if you get really into a hobby, you might notice some pressure points towards something you signed up for previously, or for a job that you originally got involved in, and then maybe it's just not a good fit anymore. So that's something I always invite people to just question in any areas of their life. Are you honoring what you're looking for today, or are you honoring a commitment that's perhaps past its expiration date, right? Like, we're going to throw out an old jug of milk in our fridge, but why would we not throw out a decision that we maybe made 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago that is no longer good for us, or will taste very sour if we're talking about milk that's that old. So yeah, that's what I want to say there for anyone looking for a passion job, or in any sense of their life. Just be open to the fact that is something that's very transient and will shift. It'll shift through our lifetimes, and I think it's meant to. Some people love that one job for life, but they, it suits them for a long period of time, and other folks want lots of different things. So with that, what is my next question? Gosh, we got a donation. That is wickedly exciting. If you want to hop to the absolute top of the list and have more time, you can donate to the show, like Elise T did. Thank you so much, Elise, for supporting the show. It really, really helps us out. So do we have Elise's question? Yeah, I'm very excited. Awesome. Okay, so she says, should I stay with Jordan or just move on to Alex? If Alex, where do you see it going? All right, excellent. And I'm not timed on a mini reading. Is that right, Sharon? Can you confirm that one? I'm pretty sure I get to just go with the wind on this one. Yeah, so this is a great question. So, should you stay with Jordan or just move on to Alex? And then if it shows for Alex, where do I see it going? should you stay with Jordan? So if you stay with Jordan, let's look at that path. If you stay with Jordan, how is that going to look? Staying with Jordan. Okay, and then we have here, I'm just going to get all my cards down and then I can talk your ears off. So, or just move on to Alex. So let's see how that looks if you were to go that route. Move on to Alex. Okay, and then I'm just going to get a little bit more information here about your situation, high level, or what information or advice there is for you regarding this situation. Okay. So I'll probably, yes, thank you. All right. So Lisa, how I like to often do readings is I will finish up with an oracle card, but I kind of want to maybe bookend this with an oracle card. A lot's going on right now. I feel that in the air big time. So I'm going to start with the oracle message that I have. Then we're going to dive into the tarot and I'll probably wrap it up with another oracle message. So the card that I have to kind of start off this discussion, it says rejuvenating rain, clear the past, heal the present. It's a very beautiful card. It's got this lovely lady reaching into the water. It's almost sunny but raining at the same time. So I think that's a good message to overall echo about what I'm going to say here. So we're going to talk about the first connection that you were asking about. If you were to stay, I did a little how things were with that. And I really think at one point it was a very strong connection, that this person treated you well. And I don't feel like you would have gotten into a serious relationship with a person if there wasn't at least some point in the past something that held you there, that, you know, that drew you in, made you feel actually like, I would almost go to say that at one point this person was able to offer you pretty much everything that you wanted. Where we're sort of at right now, I've got this Three of Swords card in reverse again, and it's kind of, to me, I'm seeing a bit of a jump here between, that's kind of giving me a duration to the past. So I think perhaps it's been a long time since this has been exactly what you were looking for. And it feels to me like it came in, it's not a rapid thing. It feels like it came into me quite slowly, like over a good chunk of time, to go from a space where the connection was very strong and you had what you were looking for, to move into, oh, this is a sticky situation and my heart's just perhaps not all the way into this. If you chose to stay, card I have for going forward is the Nine of Coins in reverse. So I'm not saying there's no improvement there, because I certainly think there is an air of improvement, but that Pentacle suit, it has been a long time. I mean, like 3 years. Okay. Yeah, it does have a bit of a drag energy towards it. And I feel like perhaps that almost like, I don't know how long, but the first chunk was quite good. And then it just maybe chipped away to get to where it's at now. So if you choose to stay in that relationship, like I'm saying with this Nine of Coins, I don't know if he is in some way quite unsupportive of particularly your ambitions, whether they be your line of work or even the way you, this sounds weird, the way you dress or the way that you carry yourself, the way that you orient your home. You said exactly. It just seems like a little bit encroaching. The way I have these cards laid out here, she's looking towards the past, kind of like, and she's looking at this bird that's sitting towards the past, where it's like, I don't feel that I can say to you, you're going back to the best of what things were. I don't know that that's necessarily possible in this connection. I think it would be a long way off. And even if there is a commitment to change, she said, yeah, he didn't support anything I do, really. And I can see that here. And like, it probably started gently or almost like microaggression-y, where it initially was little bits here and there. And perhaps now it's in a space of being a little bit outwardly or just harsher in a sense where it's like, it's no more a microaggression. It could be a full-on aggression type thing. So if you stay with him, I think that it's a hard thing for me to say, but I feel like it's going to slow you down, because it seems like it's really impacting your ambition side, your home side, and even how you can show up for yourself. I feel like it's quite a deeply challenging thing in that connection. So I think if you choose to stay, like I said, the air of this is getting a bit better than what it was, but it would be a looking for a longer term. Am I willing to nurture this thing all the way back to health with honestly very little help? Very little help. It would be you, you kind of doing that on your own. And that's not, again, this is a judgment on my part, but it's not something I would advocate anyone to do, to be the only one really looking to fix something. So then you asked about, and I believe his name was Alex. I'm sorry if I don't know if we can get that question back up here, but if you were to move, I believe you said to move out and move in with him. So that seems like an interesting, oh, thank you so much, Jordan. Yes. So, or just move on to Alex. And if Alex, where do I see it going? So it seems kind of interesting to me how things have happened there with Alex. The energy surrounding that has been rather flirtatious. Yes, exactly how I've been feeling. So I told him yesterday I want to leave. Okay, yeah. And I feel like at some point I feel like he's almost in his heart of hearts preparing for that, but willing to fight that. So I think you're going to be meeting some resistance. I don't think he's going to just let you walk on out the door, because, yeah, I mean, you were a beautiful force in his life, and I think he's in recognition of, like, there's some worry there about this potentially being the end on his end. So the Alex thing, this seems all rather flirtatious. This seems a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more like spicy, how this connection all seemed to happen. And I don't know if you met at a party or through friends or almost some sense where you didn't, like, if you met online, or there was like just quite a bit of texting or not necessarily face-to-face interaction at the beginning of that connection. It seems like it was almost a little bit initially quite exciting and spicy with that connection. Where do I see that one going? Here's the thing. I think if you, you said at work, lol. Okay. Okay, that makes some sense. I have the Three of Cups reversed here for kind of how that connection got started. So that's kind of cool. But we are texting a lot now. Okay, yes. I think this one certainly has potential, but what I want to say is that an initial hop out of relationship A and go into relationship B, or should I say leaving Jordan and tomorrow getting into something more serious, that timeline for me is, I just feel the need to say, like, I've got the Five of Coins in reverse for how that would go if you sort of initially pursued that, where to me it's kind of like there wasn't enough time for you to have a little bit of breathing room in between. And not to say you can't go for it, because I'm never going to stop flirtatious love from progressing. And I did ask then more specifically, is this something worth pursuing? And I have this here, the Six of Wands upright. So I kind of like what I am seeing with this Alex character. I'm certainly, by comparison, I don't know that Jordan can really, you've already said you're wanting to leave. So I think that this ship has largely sailed, and I think that that's not the wrong decision. No, I don't think that sticking around with Jordan is ever going to be something that can be enough or exactly what you're looking for. But this thing, oh, you said, yes, I know it's not good to jump to another one, but he is going through the same thing. It's weird. Oh, that's fascinating. That is absolutely fascinating with that card. So perhaps both of you can kind of tread that line together, being in a very similar situation. Okay, that sounds very interesting. I have the Two of Cups reversed sort of in your future or your current situation with him. So that's quite interesting. But you originally asked, if you left, how would that go? And I think that there is, it's flirtatious and quite fun. Oh, she said, and I've been past Jordan for so long, it's not like I'm jumping right in. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But with not, I guess if certainly that's not the issue of having to heal from, because largely, I think like you said, it's been laid to rest for quite some time, with where I just still don't feel like hopping right into Alex, even though that's not being the case, that it's a quick switch. There's going to be a bit of delay before something can really ramp up between you two. So that's why I think I'm getting this. And this is sort of a December-y type card. So you might find that you're pulled in different directions around the holiday time. Maybe you're both trying to navigate through what it looks like, if you're needing to move out of where you're located, things like that. But I think sort of beyond that, I do like the look of this connection with Alex. I think he could be I feel quite a bit of loyalty here with this card. It feels quite fun and exciting. Certainly not the things I'm kind of picking up with what Jordan was. So that's what I'm kind of seeing there between those two. And I do want to have another oracle card here at the end. Let me know if there's anything else that I'm that I can kind of tap into there to answer that even more specifically. So the other oracle card here I have on the other end. So we have clear the past, heal the present was your first card. And this one is called far away places, get ready for new horizons, which is quite a lovely card. I feel like that's a very onward and upward type of a message. It's got these lovely little boats hanging on here. Get ready for new horizons. I think that the choice to move on from the connection you're in, you said, you're right, though, it still hurts, so I'm going super slow. Exactly. And maybe that's one other thing I would want to say with that is, even in taking that time, I perhaps don't even need to say this, but in taking that time, don't feel that that is hindering or putting the brakes on what could happen with Alex. You said, I feel Alex was sent to me when I needed him, even though he may not be my forever. Well, let me just pull one more card on that one. So taking that slow, if both of you are in a very similar situation, both of you taking that, your connection quite slow, don't feel that the taking slow is going to hinder that connection. I feel like that's sort of the next step of the progression before things can look quite good between you two. So, yeah. I mean, I think he might surprise you. I know you get the feeling he may not be your forever, but I think there's something really quite divine about what he's going to bring into your life. I can certainly see there being something very deep and special and meaningful between you two. I just kind of, I'm trying to get a sense of, how long, how in depth kind of a thing. I got the 8 of Wands card here. It's almost like the cards are kind of saying to me, the length of the connection is not the thing that even needs to be in focus here, rather keying into the significance. So you said he is good and definitely see it being divine. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I got the 10 of Cups here on his side. So I like the look of Alex. I like this guy. I think he can be fun. I think he can be supportive. The fact that you're going through a very similar situation to me seems like a good mix, a good connection. Especially with this far away places. Like, I mean, if we have far away places and clear the past, kind of a very similar message of moving on forward to the next thing. So I think that's really beautiful. And it's never easy to end a connection or to tell someone you want to walk away, especially after it's been so many years. So my heart goes out to you with having to navigate that. But I like what I'm seeing with Alex. I think you could have some fun there, and I think he's part of the plan, shall we say. So thank you so much, Elise, for your donation. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope that could get you everything that you were looking for. I'm excited. Go after that one. Yes, darling. I like the look of him. So thank you. That was awesome. That was an example of a mini reading, so I can just sling cards to my heart's content. So if you want something a little more in depth, that is always an option that's available to you. Apart from that, let's hop into my next question. Thank you so much for your donation. I don't know who it is. It just says, Audrey, yes, darling. Thank you so very much for your donation. I really appreciate it. And it helps us keep things rolling back here. So awesome. Okay, do we have Audrey's question? She's donated for a 3-minute reading. Let's do this. All right. Please, more about a different career for me. I work for my dad's business. He's greedy and not giving me parts of the business. He says he will for years. I feel used for his profit. He knows I struggle every month. I feel stuck because of him, and also daycare. Can you just clarify the daycare portion of that? And sorry, I don't know if it's possible to leave that question back up there for a second. Thank you. So let's take a look at some guidance for you right now with your career. And when you say I feel stuck and also daycare, I'm just not totally, like, you could clarify that part. So let's see what guidance or information there is for you. I'm sorry about the situation going on with your dad. Yeah. That's never, that, I mean, I think you perhaps, oh, I have no sitter for my 5-year-old. Thank you. And I don't think, yeah, I mean, I think a large part of you knows that that sticking around with him is not going to, that's not a great option. So, okay, so for some guidance for you. Okay, I feel like there is a network that you can look into. I don't know if you know particular people that you are interested in a line of work. To me, I really get the sense that you already know someone who can help you finding a better fit or a better suited job. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think that the situation with your dad is working out, and the fact that you already said you know that he's not. I do feel like you are being used there. You said besides my daughters. Okay. And you know what? I don't know if this is something you can look into, but to me, I feel like the solving of this problem is a cohesive thing. I don't know if there is some area where you can apply for a job where there is a daycare attachment to it, or there's something that aligns really well. It's close across the street to a daycare, or they literally provide it. But I think that's really something you should look into, because what this is showing to me is, like, if you prioritize that, it feels like another passionate job opportunity will kind of come along with it. So if you can look at what jobs offer things, like if the job offers some kind of childcare, or if it aligns really well with where the childcare is or something like that, to me, that's showing one avenue of how you can sort that out. Also, I don't know if there's someone else who has left working with your father, but I think that if there is, or someone who's had a conflict in a similar situation to you with that position, reach out to that person. I think they would be certainly a good lead as well. But big messages, like looking within your own network at other opportunities. But I think that's very key that you brought that up with your childcare situation. I really, really think that looking at a job that can couple that. You said your brother. I know it's over, but like, I got the King and Queen of Swords here, so I think he's a really good resource to you. Thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate it, and I do hope that that's helpful. Yeah, and it's interesting too, though, when you said my dad is controlling. Yeah, and like, what I will say to you, though, is, at least with what you're saying here and what you've shared, is I really think you're aware of the situation. And I know that kind of sounds wacky, but we're sometimes, when we're stuck in a situation and we haven't admitted it to ourselves that it's bad for us, there's no way we're ever going to walk away from it, and there's no way that we can ever catalyze the things that we need to do to kind of take those next steps. So yeah, I'm honestly happy to hear the fact that you're really aware of that and you're already looking for other opportunities. So I appreciate your donation, and thank you so much for your question. I do wish you all the best. It's a tricky thing, the job market, but honestly, I don't know if anyone else is, if this is a thing just in my area, but after, the lockdowns happened and things opened back up, there's a lot of vacant job positions. So that seems to be the case around here, which is nice to be someone who, if we're on the end of looking for work, at least that can be helpful. She said, thanks. I'm just wanted leads. Thanks. My pleasure, my dear. Very best of luck to you. So thank you so much. I love career questions. Who is next? What do I have for my next question, please? The Celtic Dragon. Hello, welcome back. Lovely to see you. Celtic Dragon says, will I be able to take my tarot oracle readings from just a hobby and a small group on Facebook and turn it into something much more? Ooh, I love the question already. Let's talk about card slinging. All right, so will you be able to do that? Okay, so let's see what the path looks like for your tarot future currently, and then if we can get some guidance or advice for you on how to go about doing that. So will you be able to move it from being a hobby, turning it into something? Okay. I feel like you're genuinely already putting in the work. I do like what I'm seeing there, but let's give you a couple of cards of guidance. Yes. Okay. I like what I'm seeing here. So I think on the current progression, and I don't know if you're not currently charging for your services, because to me that just seems like the missing piece of the puzzle. I actually think you're quite a talented and gifted reader. Cards I have here, I've got the Star card, I've got the Nine of Coins in reverse, and I have the Justice card. So to me, that's saying the talent is there. You've put in the time, energy, and effort to hone your craft, and you're still working towards that. And the Justice card is kind of pushing me more into a space of getting that exposure. When I ask for a bit of guidance, I have this card here. It's called Vast Vistas, Expand Your Horizons. So you've already said tutoring it from a small group on Facebook. I would say certainly don't stop there and don't feel like that group can give you everything that you need. But look into spaces where you can start getting paid for your readings, whether it's locally by donation, whether you're looking to take it to a shop. To me, it's seeming more not in person. So I don't know if you want to work for a particular online platform or things like that. But if you're looking to move into a professional or a more recognized space, I would say get comfortable with the idea of being paid for your services, and kind of opening your network that way. So thank you very much for your question. That was absolutely awesome. It's nice it's cool when we get spiritual related questions, and the cards really show me certain levels of raw talent, or certain areas where it's like people are just naturally, we're naturally in a good space here, because it's genuinely something I believe that everybody can read cards. Everybody has some kind of gift that they can certainly tap into. And then whether we choose to pursue that as a skill and put in the work to, hone our craft, I think that is the key difference, right? And I think that's pretty much the same in any area of life. Do the work, folks. So awesome question, Celtic Dragon. Can I have my next question, please? All right. Apologies if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Esther or Ether. Esther says, "Hello, curious how to get myself out of a rut. Feel kind of cornered in." Okay. I like that question, and I do really appreciate the fact that you're asking how to do this, as opposed to will I. We do see questions like that. So your mindset is already in the right space. So what advice is there for you to get yourself out of the rut that you find yourself in? Okay. So interesting. And I don't know if this is a low energy, if this is also accompanied by low energy, but what I'm seeing in these cards is a little bit stagnant, a little bit stuck. And I don't know if there's something in the realm of either a mobility concern or an ability to get out into genuinely a different physical space or physical location. I don't know. The cards here, I feel quite cooped up looking at these cards. And I feel like with the Seven of Cups here as well, it's almost like you've looked at different opportunities that are out there, but there hasn't been either an ability or an opportunity to kind of pursue these particular things. So yeah, I feel a little bit closed in, and I don't know if there's a way for you to physically move your location, not like move necessarily like move house, but if you can kind of get yourself into a different space, like if it's go to a park or go to a store or go and do something that ignites a passion that you have. It seems sort of like we're looking at life passing by as a bystander kind of role, whereas what's needed is to, can we take a bit of action? Can we get out of the house? Can I, maybe go visit someone? Not necessarily visit someone. It seems more solo path oriented to me, what's needed to get out of this rut, as opposed to anyone else pulling you there. So I would say yes. And thank you so much for your question. I hope that helps. And I'm wishing you genuinely all the best to get out of that rut. Ruts can be quite a tricky thing. And you know what? I saw this post on Facebook the other day, and it said, the types of success that we need to celebrate. And it had a little line graph like this, and it had a person starting here and a person going to here. And when the person was here, it said, celebrate this level of success. And then the other graph, it was a little U shape, and it was a person who went from here, who went down and went back up. And it was like, celebrate this success as well. So it's like even just returning to a state that we were previously in, that we've gotten ourselves out of something, because life will throw all kinds of stuff at us. And pulling ourselves out of ruts and such things are that's something to be celebrated as well. So thank you so much for your question. Who is next, please? You guys are just the absolute best. Thank you so much for your donation. This is for Blanca. Thank you so much for supporting the show and for being here tonight. Blanca has donated for a 5-minute reading. Yes, we got some time going here. Do we have Blanca's question? Love to dive into this. Thank you again, Blanca. Oops. Cards flying all about here. I don't know if it's a work-related one, but yeah, if we've got Blanca's question, I'm looking forward to diving into that. Again, thank you so much for donating. And everybody who's watching at home, I see some questions rolling in. Send emojis, just light up that chat. Okay, so this is Blanca's question here. She says, hi, my question is, my kid's grandma wants to come back into the picture after a fallout. Will it go well, or should I stand my ground and leave it, or allow the peace between us? Oh, that is an excellent question. Okay, so kid's grandma wants to come back into the picture after a fallout. Will it go well? Okay, so I'm going to look into the two options of door one, entertaining and allowing, her to come back into the life, or how it would go for you to kind of stick to your guns and keep that door closed. So how does this look to Blanca? Should she allow that connection? Wow. Okay. And then should you keep that door closed? Okay. It's always quite nice when the cards paint a pretty clear picture. So when I'm looking at if you were to allow her back into your life, the first thing I want to acknowledge and recognize is I think fallout is perhaps a very gentle word that you're using to describe the thing that tore you guys apart. Just know in recognition from the cards that it was not a small thing that caused you to close the door. So if there's anything in yourself surrounding, was that the right decision in the past? You did what you felt was right, and I will objectively say it seems like you've done the right thing to protect yourself and your family and not allow certain things into your life. So if you, however, open that door back up, the next card I have here is the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the Three of Cups. So to me, this genuinely feels like a very positive female influence coming in from the grandmother for your kids. And the Wheel of Fortune, you don't see this often, but I genuinely think there's a chance for this person to change. I do trust my cards a whole lot, of course, and I think there could be a really good relationship and a good benefit for both people, for both the kids and for your grandmother. So you said, yes, definitely true. It was bad. Yeah. Yes, 100%, which is why kind of one of the only cards I would look for something strong to pull me up out of that for me to even say to you that it's worth opening that door back up. So to me, that looks really quite good. And then I have the cards here to keep that door closed. I've got the Ace of Wands in reverse, and I've got the Four of Swords in reverse. So to me, it's almost looking like a little jail in the background here with a mother and a child that's not allowing that connection to happen. And I would hate for because I feel like maybe your kids don't understand exactly what happened, and you don't ever want there to be any level of resentment or difficulty because your kids perhaps didn't get a chance to fully understand, and they in any way blame you for closing that door. Not that I see that necessarily being the case, but I feel like shutting that door off, this Ace of Wands in reverse, like if you look at it, it's like a big thumbs up, but it's just kind of like, I don't think that it's the right move to keep that door all the way shut. The last card I have there is the Two of Cups. So I think that what needs to happen there is before the door is opened back up to, hey, family, come back in. You and her need to really find some common ground first. And I think perhaps I'm kind of getting that's the path you're already looking towards if you're going that route. That there needs to kind of be an acknowledgement of what happened, whether it looks like a full-on apology or not, some level of recognition that this person, that she has changed, that this kind of what happened in the past is not going to be repeated. And just knowing that this is coming from a loving place of wanting a grandmother to get to know her children. That's a very complex situation, but I think that the right move for your family is to let that happen. So the oracle card I have for you here, it says choosing your path, all is possible. And we have this warrior kind of looking out over the mountains, and to me it's kind of saying, I almost just want to congratulate you for what you did, because it's probably not a very easy thing to shut a door like that on family, but it was absolutely necessary. You said, okay, I understand, I'm going to meet up with her. I think that's definitely the right move. Give her a chance. I feel like there's going to be some regret if you chose not to. And there's just a connection that really could be good for your children. Because to me, that's sort of where my focus is going, right? Like one way or another for the grandmother, but I want to know what's best for you and what's best for your children. And to me, it does look like having that door back open and starting that a very slow, a slow reintegration, I will say. So thank you so much, Blanca, for your donation. I really appreciate it, and I hope that that's helpful. All the very best to you. Families are interesting, aren't they? Everybody's got their fair share of beautiful, crazy, wild, and weird going on in their own families, and it can be a very tricky situation to navigate, because it can kind of come out of nowhere. These are people you think you know, people you think that always have your back, and all that kind of stuff. So it can be very tricky. So my heart goes out to you and anybody out there dealing with a challenging family situation, because it's hard, because you don't want to give people a pass because you love them, but then at the same time, it's hard. And she says thank you, and thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best. I think it's the right move to open that door. So thank you so much. Awesome. I am ready for my next question. Myself. Thank you guys so much we got another donation. Kimberly W. Kimberly, thank you very, very much for donating to the show. You guys have no idea how much that means to me and how much that helps the team out. So do we have Kimberly's question? Let's dive right in. I'm very excited. Kimberly, thank you. Kimberly says, can I quit my stable job for my certified medium job full time? Okay. Fantastic question. I love me a good spiritual related question. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to look at the two options of, first off, quitting your job, quitting the stable job you have and going full time to be a certified medium. And then I'm going to look at, on the opposite side, if we keep that stable job, how that looks. So if you quit your stable job, how does that look for Kimberly? Kimberly. Dang. Kimberly says, thank you. Okay, so that was to quit the job, and then I want to see how it looks to keep that job for a certain amount of time longer. Oh my goodness. Whoa, okay. So again, I have quite a clear message, and to be honest, it may not be one that folks would necessarily jump to. Should you quit your stable full-time job and go to be a medium? Look at these cards I have, and they're all upright. I have the 9 of coins, I have the Wheel of Fortune, and I have the 10 of cups. I feel like you've probably already got a client base going. You perhaps even have either an online community, or this is something you've worked your way into. It's not like, I'm going to quit my job and see what happens. I really feel like you've put in the work to get something set up for you so that a transition can look not like I've got nothing going on. Especially with that, she says, yes, I've got the 9 of coins here as well. So I feel like you said you're a certified medium, but I feel like you're a professional practicing medium as well. You're already getting paid for your services. And I feel like we've just got more time to really go ahead and pursue this, to market myself, to serve more clients. I don't know if you've even had to turn down paying clients at some point because of this job. Because if you kept that job, look at this garbage. So I'm sorry, but we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. We got the 5 of Cups reversed. She says yes, and I've got the 3 of Swords upright. this job, although it is stable and although it is paying the bills, talk about a card saying stability and paying the bills is just not enough for something that is, no better way of saying it, almost a bit soul sucking. Like, I feel like this job is not just a job, but there's something particularly about this job that is not conducive to the work you're doing. And even with those cards as well, I don't know if that job has quite a bit of stress. She says, yes, I hate it. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. And I went instead. So it's not a good fit, and it's not worth it. The other thing I want to say too here is looking at these 5 of Cups in reverse, staying, and then pursuing that full time, going to the 10 of Cups. I feel, you said, love my mediumship. And even more than that is, it's kind of like that job, what it is doing to you, it is hindering your ability to be the best medium that you want, or that you can be, because it's pulling you into a space. And you said sacred and love my mediumship. Yeah, like, girl, I think you're really good at it. I think you're really good at it. And I think you've really set yourself up to be able to step into this being a business opportunity for you, to be able to support yourself. You right there, being able to support yourself. And it's not, you're not asking me, should I up and, I'll just say, like, throw something away and hop into something blindly. No, this was calculated and this is beautiful. So yes, Kimberly, you go out there. She said, did radio New York, but scared. Yeah, but, and I don't know if any of that scarcity is surrounded to the attachment with this job, but that job's got to go. That mediumship's got to come in. That was clear as a daisy. Daisies are clear as the day is long. I don't know the saying. I'm just excited for you. So best of luck to you, Kimberly. Got the world upright. Just flipped out as I'm signing off from your connection. So go out there, kick ass, and take names. That was beautiful. She says thank you. So thank you so much. Oh, you guys are just making my evening here tonight. I am having a blast. Got some spiritual questions. We got some career questions. What is my next question, please? From Kara. Okay, or Kara. I know people with the same spelling. So for Kara or Kara, she says, hello. Could me and my boyfriend ever successfully fix our issues? Excellent question. And I like the empowered way you phrased that. Beautifully worded question. So can you ever fix your issues? Use that. Okay. Interesting. So the first cards I have down is kind of showing to me that both of you are really quite struggling in this connection. You have a deep sense of unhappiness in a sense, and I think he's got a deep sense of anxiety. I feel like he might even be losing sleep, something of that nature. It's quite interesting because I'm seeing a very mirrored, a very similar displeasure that is shared between the both of you. And then I asked very directly, could you ever successfully fix it? I've got the Chariot card upright, which is quite a different dynamic from where I'm seeing you guys now. And the other card I have here is the Knight of Cups reversed. So to me, it feels like intimacy is lacking. It feels like the more caring aspects of the connection aren't here. Not necessarily not caring for each other, but maybe the more sweet and tender and gentle parts of the relationship. There's maybe a sense that the ship has sailed and that this, but no, I think you can. I genuinely think you can. I think you guys are in a, as we talked about earlier tonight, a rut type situation between you two. And I genuinely think that it's something that you guys can move forward from. Quick card of guidance. We have the card choosing your path. It says all is possible, right? So going to bat for what you guys really want, and figuring out what it looks like to move forward. I'm not getting it being necessarily a communication issue, but we need a very serious intervention to flip things around, but I think they can be flipped around, honestly. So thank you very much for your question. I do really appreciate it, and I really wish you guys all the best. It's interesting how the tarot does that sometimes, because when we're talking with the cards, we're not chatting with a friend, necessarily. Like, we're not chatting with someone who's going to give us advice that we're looking for. We're not going to hear things that necessarily make sense, right? Like, a friend can look, if I saw my friend unhappy in a relationship, I might say something like, get up out of there. But then if we look at something like the cards and we see from a higher perspective or something else we just get a perspective that's something we're not stuck in, and it shows us things that we might not be able to see. So one of the absolute most beautiful things about getting a reading and learning to read these bad boys. So thank you for your question. Who do I have next? Joe. Hello, Joe. Oh, it's lovely to hear from you. Joe says, how will my move go? Okay, yes. How will Joe's move go? All right, so let's take a quick peek at that one. I do personally hope all the best, but let's see what the cards have to say. How will Joe's move go? Okay, and I'm going to have one card from the Sacred Travelers here. Okay, so Sacred Traveler says, okay, we got first light, beginning a new cycle. And the first card I have down actually here is the Fool card. So talk about a very similar energy being spewed from both decks. The next two cards I got the Ten of Swords in reverse, and I have the Five of Swords in reverse. So, and perhaps you're asking this because it seems like it's going to be a bit of a daunting move. I don't know if you've got to get stuff back from someone, or there's just a whole lot. I don't know if there's even paperwork involved that maybe hasn't. I know what you do, and you know what you're doing, but it seems a little bit taxing, especially in the space of what you're able to do. I feel like your work is going to be impacted. In the meantime, not as a long-term thing. I feel like in the long term, it's going to be an excellent move at the other side. But I almost just want to say, like, we're just going to have to grit our teeth and get through this one. It looks like a rather big task. It looks, even if you've asked someone to help show up and help you move, maybe you're having a hard time getting the right people to help or support. It looks like a little bit of an uphill grind. It says, hi, Cassidy. Yes, a lot of stuff to move and busy with work. Yeah. So if there's anything you can table at work or prepare for in advance to just open up your space and your time to dedicate more fully to that job or to the move, I think that's really going to help. But yeah, just pedal to the metal. It might be a bit tricky getting everything sorted out, but certainly something you can handle. So thank you so much for your question, Joe. I really appreciate it. And I do wish you all the best as you are beginning a new cycle with your move. So moving, yes, my goodness. Joe says, thank you. Thank you so much for your question. I don't know, has anyone else here moved a whole lot? Like by the time I was 26, I had moved 26 different times. Lots of bopping around. And there were some points where we wouldn't move very far, where we wouldn't be in a place for too long, and we'd just leave our stuff in boxes. So yes, I'm certainly no stranger to moving. So we have a couple of minutes left here, and I will just say I haven't got a chance to say it because I've been rambling along. Tomorrow we have Squirrel and Friends, so make sure you guys tune in for that. That's happening tomorrow, Friday, between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's an absolute blast. There's all kinds of psychics. They're having all kinds of fun. And you can pick the reader that you want if you do a donation, or they do like a round table thing for all of the questions that come in. So hop on for that because it's always a great time. It just lights up my Fridays. So do we have another question, please? Okay, Algina says, hi, is AP thinking of me and what are his feelings about me? Okay, let's tap into that situation. Is AP thinking of you and what are his feelings about me? AP thinking of me and what are his feelings about me? Okay. Okay. So to the question, is he thinking about me? I'm not really getting the sense that there's an active, when people are, if you say like, is this person thinking about me? Like, I'm not really seeing that he's actively thinking about you necessarily. What are his feelings about you? I don't know if you guys had some level of, I don't know, some kind of challenge or difficulty between you two, because I'm picking up on a little bit of stress here, whether this is coming off from a particular communication or lack thereof. To me, it just seems like he's looking sort of for maybe his own space at the moment, or just taking a step back. So I don't know if you're having a hard time reaching him, if that makes sense. Because to me, I'm getting a sense of a fair bit of distance sort of between you, almost like if you're the one who's the communication seems, I guess I could say, rather one-sided if it does exist. Like I will send a message or I will phone and then he doesn't pick up. So she says, yes, you were right. Yeah. And to be honest, it seems a little bit unfair or unwarranted, because I don't think there's ever really a reason two people can't have a conversation and share how they're feeling. But I feel like he's not at the moment, which is probably why you're asking. It's a bit difficult. He's just kind of taken some time out to himself. I think he's got a lot going on. To be honest, to me, it seems like he's stressed. He's under a lot of pressure. I don't know what's going on in his life without diving in necessarily deeper, but this is, yeah, he's going through something. So you said there's no communication. Yeah, that makes sense. So thank you very much for your question. Sharon's back. Hey girl, how you doing? I can't hear you. I don't know if you're on mute or something. I can just see a beautiful smile.
Of course I am. I just didn't have to come back because you were rocking it. You did amazing, Cassidy.
Thank you. Look at the great questions I've had to work with tonight. I'm just having a ball over here.
Let me read our little schedule real quick because we have just a few minutes. So you guys, I hope we have Cassidy back a lot. She is amazing. She really and truly is one of my favorite readers in the entire world. And I know a whole lot of them. But just to refresh everybody's memory, because this is the last show of the night, we will be back tomorrow with Squirrel and Friends. That would be me and all my friends. Well, not all of them, but all good slew of them. But we have Journey Ryan live on Mondays at 10 p.m. We got Destiny K and Elise Raven on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for Destiny and 9 p.m. for Elise. Wednesdays, we start out with Danielle Hartz at 8 p.m. and go on to Elise Raven at 9. Then we have Destiny K on Thursday at 7, Danielle Hartz on Thursday at 8, and Journey Ryan live on Thursday at 10. Really packed day. So you guys be sure to come and bring your questions because we love, love, love doing this. And thank you for coming to my Psychic Connection. And I'll hop on out of here and let Cassidy say goodnight to y'all. Bye.
Yes, thank you so much, Sharon. And thank every single one of you for being here tonight. Honestly, it means the absolute world to me. There's a million things you could be doing with your Thursday night, and you chose it to, hang out with me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your support, everybody, tonight. The last card I have here is just as a little sign-off message. It says, navigating by the stars, follow your bliss, which almost matches my background. Just tuck that right into there. Yeah, I mean, I quite like that message. Follow your bliss. It's kind of got this guy here taking a road all by himself, going for a bit of a night walk. So if anybody out there just needs a bit of a push to explore, again, I'm not saying, much like one of the readings earlier tonight, it's not a willy-nilly jump out there and just try something all the way wacky. To me, this is more follow your bliss. It's a little more discovery oriented. So if anyone's looking at something they're curious about or they're, that's been calling them a little bit, perhaps take those first steps. I think that's maybe a good time to do so. So with that, thank every single one of you again. I think I'll be back perhaps next Thursday, but time will tell. Just keep tuning into the shows and everybody will stay up to date. So thanks everyone for this, and we will catch you guys next time. Have a good evening.